Gentlemen, sorry for the late week 9 recap, but better late than never, I suppose. It is storming like crazy outside here in Boise. Rain and snow and wind. It's just a nasty day out there. But getting on to last week's recap. First game was the father-son battle of MFCEO, myself going up against the old man, Horn Dogs, and I am proud to say I kicked his ass. So happy. Man, after Devonte Adams' big night last Thursday, I was scared. Then Mahomes just starts going off. He's got 35 points. The Chiefs are just unbeatable. It's ridiculous. Um, I was terrified, right? But then, oh man, that CMC trade came in for me. 39 points from Christian McCaffrey, another 46 from Kyler, and I was in it. So I was super happy about that. Um, that moves Horn Dogs down to 6-3, but doesn't really matter. He's still in first, and it bumped me up to second in the Couch Potatoes division. Couldn't quite get to first, and we'll talk about why here coming up. Next up was The Walking Dead against Thunder Blender, and The Walking Dead just destroyed, thanks in large part to Josh Allen and Dalvin Cook. I mean, combining for 82 points. The rest of his team kind of sucked, but man, those two guys just went off. So 131 points for Walking Dead. That was an expensive loss for Thunder Blender as he stays at the bottom of the Couch to Potatoes division. Really just had a abysmal performance by so many players. DJ Moore, 1.8 points. Gronk, 0 points. I mean, that was just a brutal run for him. Next up, Tons of Anarchy continues his winning streak. He is now 7-2 as he beats up on This League as a Breeze, who remains at the bottom of the Armchair Quarterbacks division. Brutal year this year for Zach. Another bad performance on his part. He could have done it. He had the points. They were just sitting on his bench. Um, Tons of Anarchy, on the other hand, squeaked out a victory, scoring less than 100 points. Not really a very common thing to do, but good job there, Mark. Overall, it was a very low scoring week. I mean, only one, two, three, four, five teams scored over 100 points. So low scoring week for everyone. Better Than the Jets had their winning streak snapped by Mad Dogs. So Better Than the Jets are sitting at 4-5 in third place in their division. Mad Dogs at 5-4 are in fourth place. Just goes to show you who the better, the more competitive division is this year. Armchair Quarterbacks division, much more competitive. Um, Narrow victory, only 3 points, less than 3 points actually. Um, there were some points left on the bench by both teams, um, but really nothing to say, nothing to speak to. I mean, Mad Dogs actually, I think, had a perfect, um, yeah, they had a perfect lineup. Good job there, man. Meanwhile, there's definitely some points left on the bench for Better Than the Jets. Nothing crazy, just a couple here and there, but it would have been enough to put him over the edge for the victory. He'll be looking to bounce back and continue that winning streak. Next up is Check Casher. Las Vegas Battle. Check Casher wins over Habanos, and Check Casher moves to second place in their division at 5-4, tied with Mad Dogs. And who else is at 5-4 in that division? I think it's oh, it goes to Steve Largent. So all three are sitting at 5-4, tied for second place. Habanos moves to 3-6, and again, just not a good performance. That's 2 weeks in a row for Mad Dogs, really just underperforming overall his team. Chet Casher, not a great performance by any of his players, but enough. I mean, Kelsey had the game of his career. Of course, scores 16 points there, man. Um, so that was huge. Yep, nothing else to really speak to about that one. And the last game of the week goes to Steve Largent, wins against Don't Panic. Don't Panic had a couple of huge weeks, and then it's just gone downhill since. Um, really, really rough one for him. Could have had a little bit more points if he had played Jonathan Taylor, but definitely not enough to get him a victory. Saints defense left him on them on the bench, and that was painful. You would never have thought that the Saints would put up 32 points against Tom Brady, but yeah, that was crazy. Meanwhile, Steve Largent, despite being hit hard with so many injuries, was able to pull out a victory and are sitting just fine where they're at, tied for second place at 5-4. So his players are starting to come back, I'm hearing. Um, Nick Chubb might be back this week. Miles Sanders should be back after the bye, um, maybe this week or next. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So this week is already underway. We have. Let me see here. Let's see if I can go back to it. Week 10 underway, and yes, here we go. So I am facing against Eric. Eric and I just had a huge trade. We'll see how that turns out. It's going to turn out good for me this week because Zeke is on a bye, and Michael Thomas is not. Also, Austin Eckler just posted a nice video. It looks like he should be returning next week, so I'm very excited about that. Of course, Christian McCaffrey comes out last week like a madman, and then now he's hurt again. Different injury, but hurt again. So we'll see how he turns out for next week. But this week, he's not playing. So I am in a position where I have to start just some of the worst looking people, man. Ugh, it does not look good. I mean, I'm starting Cordell Patterson not because he's a returner, but because he's the backup running back for Chicago, and Montgomery's supposed to be out this week. Ugh, it looks gross. So we'll see how it goes. And Eric is already up. I mean, he's 16 points up, thanks to a huge Colts defense stand last night. Next up is number one team Horn Dogs going up against the very last place team. This league is a breeze. We'll see how that turns out. It's no major bye issues for either team. Uh, Obviously, this league is a breeze, still hampered by injuries with George Kittle out, but he's got Austin Hooper taking his place, so I think that's a good pickup. We'll see how it goes. Tons of Anarchy, number one team, going up against Mad Dogs, number two team in their division. Both teams are looking good as far as injuries go. Mad Dogs is hit with Tyreek Hill on a bye, so that's going to be painful for him. We'll see if he can win without his top scorer. Better than the Jets going up against Chet Casher. This is an exciting game. I'm excited for this one. Unfortunately, Better than the Jets is already starting out not so great, but then again, so is Chet Casher, right? So better than the Jets, their top scoring wide receiver AJ Brown only scored 2 points last night. That's brutal. Julio Jones is out on a bye, so we'll see how he performs there. Chet Casher did not start Naheem Hines, and he's going to kick himself in the butt for that one, I think. Went with Curtis Samuel instead, and Philip Lindsay. I think he's going to be pretty upset about that one. We'll see how it goes because he only got 2 points from his defense, so I'm excited to see how that one turns out. Don't Panic and goes going up against Habanos, another father-son face-off here. We'll see if Willie can follow in my footsteps and beat up on the old man. Hoping I'm pulling for you, Willie. I'm pulling for you. Our generation, man. We got to take this thing over. But it's not looking too good for you because you already had two guys play and combined for 6 points. So not a good start. And your top receiver is out on a bye, and your top running back is hurt. Probably not going to play this week. That's brutal, man. Real brutal. And you're still gonna roll with Tom Brady. I'm seeing, and that's interesting. Now, for Habanos, Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Amari Cooper are both out on a bye, so it's kind of evening itself out. We'll see how that goes. Looks like a pretty even matchup. 51% probability win for Don't Panic, so definitely right there even. Next up is another matchup I'm excited to see is the Ghost of Steve Largent and the Walking Dead. The Walking Dead has 51% predicted win probability. Both teams are looking, well, no. Ghost of Steve Largent still facing huge injury concerns on his team, but The Walking Dead is getting hit hard by the bye this week. 3 players out on bye. Um, so we'll see. He's got 3 questionable players in his starting lineup at this point in time. Starting Henderson over J.K. Dobbins. Gambling, man. Gambling. So we'll see how it turns out. Yeah, and then you've got the Ghost of Steve Largent starting Miles Sanders this week, who has been out. So that's exciting for you for John. He's getting Miles Sanders and Noah Fant back. DJ Chark, who's questionable, also in the starting lineup. So we'll see how that turns out. He's got his Dolphins defense going up against my Chargers. I mean, I hope they don't score any points, but we'll see. Um, that's this week. So listen, guys, 3 more weeks of the regular season, and then the playoffs start week 13. And it's still very much, winnable for just about everyone, I think. Yeah, everyone has an opportunity to get back in the playoffs. I mean, in the Couch Potatoes division, Tons of Anarchy has a 2-game lead, so they're looking pretty comfortable. Myself and Better Than the Jets at this point would be making the playoffs, but I'm only 2 games up on the 3 teams at the bottom. Better Than the Jets is only 1 game up on those teams. So The Walking Dead, Habanos, Thunder Blender, all 3 of you guys have a shot at making the playoffs still. It's with 3 weeks left. In the Armchair Quarterbacks division, the whole thing is still up for grabs. Horn Dogs only has a 1 game lead over the 3 teams that are right behind him in second place. And then the 2 teams at the bottom are only 2 games back from Horn Dogs. So still very much anyone's division there. Reminder, the top 3 teams in each division make the playoffs. Number 1 teams get a bye the first week. The teams 2 and 3 will play each other to face the division leader. And then division champs in each division will face each other in the Super Bowl. We have 3-week playoff. The 3 bottom teams in each division will face each other in the Toilet Bowl. Loser advances to see who is the absolute worst team in the league. I mean, I've got my pick of who I think is going to be the worst, but can't say it out loud. It's just mean. Looking at the power rankings in the league, let's take a look at the power rankings and what the ESPN is predicting. Better Than the Jets and Horn Dogs have huge advancements. Better Than the Jets are the top ranked team in the power rankings. Horn Dogs are number 2. Tons of Anarchy sitting at number 3. Chet Casher moves up 1 spot from preseason to number 4. Biggest losers are This League is a Breeze, moving from projected number 1 to number 7, due in large part to the injuries that he's hit. Habanos from 2 to 12. Wow, the mighty have fallen. The only team that hasn't moved is myself, sitting at 6. So that's unfortunate. So that's looking at draft day projections compared to current day projections. We have a reminder, we have a vote going, a poll going on the homepage. So when you go into the league homepage, on the right-hand side, upper right-hand side, there's a question. Due to COVID, should we allow waivers throughout the playoffs? So again, traditionally, we do not allow ad drops during the playoffs, but that's definitely up for debate and discussion. It's a 50-50 split at this point. So if no one else votes, then I will be the tiebreaker on that one. So please vote. There's only been 4 votes cast. There's 11 of you guys, so make sure you get on here and vote for that poll. so we can get an idea of what's going on. Trade deadline's coming up at the end of November, November 25th, I believe, Thanksgiving week. So make sure if you guys want to do any more trades, get those done. Again, if you need more money added to your fab, please let me know. Submit a pay to the league via PayPal, and I will get that money added to you. Just let me know that you pay it. All right. Thanks, guys, and good luck this week to everyone except for the birthday boy, Eric. I hope your team all gets hurt. See ya.